Hey guys, welcome back. If you have not been to my channel before, I'm Nancy and I'm a homeschool mom to 7 kids, and I do videos here and there on homeschooling and planning and large family meals and freezer cooking and food allergies and organization, things like that. This video is actually part of a collaboration with One Caffeinated Mom, and she is hosting this collab and has a playlist with several different mamas that are all posting their tips and tricks on how they plan their homeschool year, because everybody's different and everybody does things a little bit differently. And so it's great to watch several different options, get lots of different ideas. Check out the playlist. Today, we're gonna talk about getting ready for the next school year and how I prepare. So I'm not gonna go over everything that we're doing this year. That can be a later video. This year has gone very, very well. And so this is one of the first years I've been homeschooling since the beginning. My oldest is 12 and in 6th grade. And this is one of the first years where I really feel like everything is flowing how it should be. So we're gonna continue a lot of curriculum that we have been using and put in a few new things here and there. All right, so how I start is I write out a list. I'm a big fan of just papers and pencils and color-coded pens. If you've seen my other videos or are on my Instagram or Facebook, you know that I'm really big into color coding. Each of my kids has their own specific color, and they have dishes in that color and most of their school supplies in that color, Easter baskets, basically anything that we can. Their towels are color coded. We don't color code everything. That way they can, still have things that are their own, that are, colors that they choose. But when it comes to some things, we color code. I keep this little cup on my whiteboard where nobody can touch it. And right now, since I'm using it, it just hooks to my metal file crate. So anyway, the colors go, my oldest is pink, and then next is blue, green, orange, yellow, purple, and red. And so those are the 7 kids, and it works really well for us. Most things we can find in all the colors, and if we can't find something in all the colors, then we don't color code that. But anyway, so what I usually do to prep for school is I have everything written out. Sometimes I have the list on my phone in case I'm out and I see good deals and I don't have my paper list with me, then I have a backup on my phone. But I really like doing everything on paper. So first of all, what I do is I write out what we may need, and I don't write any numbers down or anything until the end of the school year. So what we'll do is, I know that a lot of the kids are going to need new notebooks, and so right here, instead of their names, I just have dots with their colors. That way, when I am shopping and I have my list, I don't have to look at names and then, get colors wrong, stuff like that. All I have to do, I know that I need so many pink notebooks. And so what I'll do is, at the end of the school year, before all of the back to school sales start, I will figure out what we need and write a number right above their colored dot. And so I know that we need at least that many notebooks. And if I find a really good deal, I'll buy more, and then we just won't need more the next school year. And then the same with folders. A lot of the kids don't need new folders this year, but we have a couple months left, and so we'll see what we're gonna need at that point, and then we'll write the numbers in. Binders, again, we use those for handwriting and different subjects and stuff, and so the kids kind of wear through those rather quickly, so we'll probably need a few more of those. Then book holders, let me grab one real quick for you. Okay, so each of my kids has a book holder like this. Before we moved down to this schoolroom, we had these all on my piano next to each other, and it was great for a small space. Now we're spread out a lot more, and so each kid just has one of these on their desk, and it holds their core subjects. They'll have their handwriting and the book that they're reading currently and their math all in here, and then it just sits on their desk. And I need, like I said, in my homeschool room tour, my oldest, her color is pink, and my youngest, her color is red. But as my youngest gets older, she's not ready for school yet, but I'm starting to switch everything out. My oldest has been using a lot of red things just because red is easier to find. So I need to get my daughter a pink book holder so that we can pass the red one on down to little sister. And then again, I have my file folders here that I also explained in my homeschool room tour. And currently my daughter, my oldest, has all of her files in red. And so I need to find some pink folders and save the red ones for my youngest. And then art books, we actually don't color code the art books. We get the same art book and then they decorate the cover page however they want with their name on it. And so I won't need to get different colors, but I can write down who needs more. I usually buy a couple per kid because they go through them at different rates, but some kids like to use the art books a little bit more than the others. And then that's everything over here. And then as I think of more things or see things that I like on videos and wherever I'm looking for inspiration, I'll write more down. And then over here is just random stuff, printer paper, construction paper, crayons. My kids go through crayons and colored pencils so quickly. Some years I'd buy a whole lot at the beginning of the year school sales, and we would have way too much. And so the next year I would cut down and buy a lot less, and then we run out like 2 months into the school year. So I need to err on the side of more because then we'll always have more. And you know, if you don't buy them at the beginning of the school year when they're like 25, 50 cents, then you have to buy them for like $1.99 a box. So anyway, we have a lot of other things here, but like I said, once we're wrapping up this school year, I'll write down numbers of what I would like to get for the next school year. I do have down here, it says no pencils. This year, I think Black Friday and a couple other sales, Amazon had the big, huge boxes of, hang on, the Ticonderoga pencils. These are the best pencils on the face of the planet. I will not buy any other pencils. And I do not color code pencils because, first of all, colored pencils are either cheaper brands and they're very annoying to use. And then the kids, like if a kid can't find their pencil, then it's a huge thing. And so I get all the same pencils. That way they can just use whatever. I have hundreds of them and it's not a big deal. So anywho, then that is basically my supply list, and I'll add to this as I go. And then I can hit the school supply sales as soon as they're open. The next is curriculum. I'm not going to go over all the curriculum, like I said, because I did that at the beginning of this year. All of my curriculum choices, I can do that at the beginning of this next school year or during the summer when we're sure on everything we're using. There's a couple things I'm still going over to choose, but this is my list of what I think we're going to be using. And some of these things we still need. Most of all of this stuff we have, especially my boys. My boys all use the same math, and so they're moving up levels, but last year I bought the next higher levels on the marketplace. So I don't need that. My daughter, I might need her next math book. She's going into Saxon 6.5, but she has been using, I'll put the link down below. She has been using tutoring videos for Saxon by Nicole, the math lady. And she does her videos corresponding to the homeschool version of the math books. And so I have the old hardbound math books. And so halfway through this year, when we switched my daughter to using Nicole, the math lady, I had to pick up a homeschool version of Saxon 5.4. And so I think I need to go on and look at Nicole's website and see if our Saxon 6.5 book will correspond with her lessons or not. But then I'll just need to watch out for a new math book for the right version of what she uses. And then I'll need to print a lot of stuff out. But yeah, basically I just write everything down next to their colored initial and keep this handy. And then next, I haven't written anything down here yet because there's some unit studies that we have not gone through this year that we'll go through next year. There's some unit studies that we'll go through again this year. And then I'll find some new ones that we want to use, some new subjects. And I'm writing a couple of unit studies here and there. Group subjects, basically, as I go through the rest of this school year and the summer, I'll write down what we want to learn and how we're going to do that, what I'm going to pick up to do that. Next, this, I don't have anything written either. This is my reading lists for the 4 oldest, and the 2 younger of the 4 oldest are at a similar reading level. Honestly, the 2 oldest are at a similar reading level too, but they kind of like different versions of of books. And so what I do with the reading lists is, again, at the end of the school year, I will go through our bookshelves and I will pull out everything that I want them to read that they haven't read this year. And it will not be an exhaustive list because at the beginning of this year, I wrote a really long list for each of the older kids of what I wanted them to read. And I figured it would be a good solid 3 to 5 months worth of a reading list. And my 2 oldest finished out their lists in like 2 or 3 weeks. And so they've had a lot. I've got a lot more books for them, and they've had a lot more time this year for some free reading whatever they want. They've read a lot of Boxcar Children and more fictional, just fun stuff. So what I'll do is I'll write down on here all of the titles that I want each kid to read that they need to work through. And then basically I don't give them a book and say, you have to read this, then you have to read this, and then you have to read this. What I'll do is I'll write the titles out in a list, and then they can pick them as they want and decide what they would like to read out of the list. And so then what I do from there, books that I pick up here and there and books already on our bookshelf, and once I have those all written down, I'll figure out where our holes are. And I really like the kids reading a lot of heavy history-based, real-life events-based books. I was taught that way growing up, and I thought it was really great. I had a lot of really strong literature. So what I do past the books that we already have, I go through. This is the Good and the Beautiful reading list, and then I also use the Robinson curriculum reading list. That's actually what I used most of my school years when I was a kid. And so what I do here is I go through and, because I want my kids to be getting the most out of their books, is I mark the biographies and autobiographies and historical accounts and historical fiction first out of all of the options. And so I just go through and I highlight which ones I would like to buy. And then I also, if we have the book, I'll go through with a different color highlighter and highlight over the title, because we have several of these books because we've been using this list for a couple years. And then what I'll do is I will take these lists, and as I have time, I will go on thriftbooks.com and abebooks.com and Amazon, and even the marketplace and our local homeschool swap groups and the thrift store itself, and find as many of these titles as I can. Some of them are out of print. The Robinson curriculum, you can actually print out their whole reading list, which is fantastic, because if you can't find the old book, you can print it out and have it bound, or you can print it out and put it in a big binder. So we do that sometimes too. I prefer to have an actual bound book, but if it's a really good book and we can't find it anywhere, printing it out is a fantastic option. And also with The Good and the Beautiful, they do have some audiobooks available on their website, and so can utilize audiobooks as well. That's where we're at for the reading list. And then also what I do for planning this, I think I've shown this before. This is the Whaley grade book, and it's a 7-subject plan book, and I don't actually plan lessons in here. This is my record keeping book. And so this whole school year, we go week by week, and I just have written in here all of my kids' names with their colors, and then we go through the week and we write down what they did up on the whiteboard, what each kid is supposed to be doing every day. And then if that changes a little bit, then I write it down in here, and this is just a really, really good record keeping book. So I have my 6 oldest, and then down here I use this for group subjects. And so like I write down when we do unit studies and stuff all together. That way I don't have to write out, she did history, he did history, he did history, he did history. I mean, that's a lot of writing. And so anything that all the kids do together, I write down here. And then I can get the 8-subject book next year for when my 2-year-old is, doing little things. If I want to write anything down for her, I might stick with the 7-subject next year and then get the 8-subject when she gets a little bigger and actually needs that. So anyhow, that is basically, in a nutshell, my plan, how I do things every year. So if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. I'm always up for new ideas. I watch a lot of YouTube videos for inspiration of homeschool room tours and curriculum choices and things like that. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and like to see other people's ideas. And yeah, so leave me a comment, subscribe, like, if you'd like to see more content like this. Yeah, let me know what your plan is, or if you have a video on your setup, let me know and I will be sure to come and watch it. And yeah, thanks for coming along with me today.